I'm Fiona Seitz-Bowen. I'm a community leader in the Old Fourth Ward of Atlanta. The ask was that people participate in what City Councilman Kwanzaa Hall is calling the Year of Boulevard. Boulevard is a stretch of boulevard in the Old Fourth Ward in Atlanta, which has been blighted for quite some time. Most of the housing on Boulevard is subsidized housing owned by a single property company called Wingate. There's a very high rate of poverty in that area, and there are a lot of kids in the area. And so Kwanzaa Hall, along with TEDxAtlanta, has asked the people here today to participate in changing the face of Boulevard. One of the asks was to sponsor kids going to summer camp from the neighborhood. Another ask was to provide internships for some of the older teenagers in the neighborhood. And the third ask was to help entrepreneurial kids in the neighborhood start their own business. And sort of in a broader ask, it was to just participate in what Kwanzaa Hall's office is calling the Year of Boulevard. I think that this was a perfect opportunity and forum for that kind of an ask, because if this were a conference about technology or the wave of the future or something, the participants and the audience members might not have been so ready to engage with a community issue like the plight of Boulevard, if you will. But having a theme like community, I think, has really brought a lot of active and involved people from Atlanta to this conference, and I think that they're the ones who would respond the best to an ask like that. And I think it's appropriate because we're coming out of the recession. People are looking for ways to get involved. Clearly the people here want to be involved if they're not already, and it was sort of like, if you build it, they will come. If you have a community-oriented conference, the people here are already in that mind frame, so I think it was a perfect opportunity for that ask. As someone who's very involved in community, that's what I do, it's a lot of who I am. I think the big takeaway was something that Richard said, which was find a fight, pick a fight and get involved. A lot of us are happy to read the news, hear about things, talk about it, but getting up off the couch or getting away from the computer and actually stepping out into your community, being engaged, like Doug Shipman was talking about, is really the step that it takes to make change happen. And so I think the big takeaway was getting out the door and becoming involved.
I'm Todd Martin, and I'm the organizer of TEDxAtlanta and owner of Unbounded. Topics kind of originate organically for us, and it came out of steering committee discussion where we were talking about ideas for what this event could be about. And the idea of kind of focusing on our own town and the idea of community, and then taking that up in a kind of almost a powers of 10 context out to social networks and those kind of things is where it started. And it evolved over time, but it felt like a powerful topic for us to take on. Rhonda Lowry's talk, I think, made a powerful stake for what identity in a network world really looks like, that it's not the kind of few character hit in Twitter that we sometimes think about it being. And at the opposite end of that was Doug Shipman talking about what are the kind of true definition and qualities of being a neighbor. After each event, people seem to be ready to do something, and there have been so many people who have asked, what can I do? And so it kind of drove us to realize that there's more energy in the community and more desire to actually make something happen. So I guess that's the drive behind it. I think what we hope to have come out of it really are two things. One, it's a grand experiment to see how the community can actually come together and cause something to happen. And then I think our real hope is that the 3 wishes that Kwanzaa made for the 600 kids that live in Boulevard Corridor for the summer, that we'll be able to meet all 3 of those wishes.